She has spent her adult life as the architect of her family. She plans the holidays, schedules the care, and decides how every milestone runs. Yet, despite a whole lifetime of leadership, the single most important decision regarding her own ending is the one she has been conditioned to avoid. Society treats silence around dying as a form of protection. In practice, that silence simply isolates her, forcing her to hold the anxiety of her final days entirely alone. Reclaiming control over her own ending does not start with a stack of legal documents. It starts by recognizing that avoiding the topic is a learned behavior, and she can choose to break it. 71% prefer to die at home, yet 69% report society avoids the subject. Thus, only 37% document their wishes. Modern legacy platforms save her history but ignore her exit, while legal directives offer zero emotional support for making these hard decisions. Without that emotional infrastructure to guide her, the traditional paperwork is frequently abandoned, or simply avoided, or left completely blank. Dying Golden is a mental strength operating system built specifically to provide that missing emotional foundation. Dying Golden is a deliberate, unhurried space for a woman to figure out what she actually wants. It is mental strength training, not a legal form. The system walks her through 4 sequential moves, turning silent dread into a clearly authored decision. This is the deployment phase of a conversation she was taught to avoid, allowing her to take her power back at her own pace. Move 1 requires her to name the fear. Whether it is dying alone, being in pain, or being forgotten, she states it out loud in a room that does not flinch. Clinical neuroscience identifies this as affect labeling. Physically speaking a feared experience out loud measurably reduces the reactivity of the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center. Doing this inside the Dying Golden circle, surrounded by peers engaging in the exact same practice, she never has to carry the weight of saying these things first, alone. Once the fear is disarmed, she proceeds to move to the wish declaration. She verbally states her actual wishes, clarifying if she wants home hospice and exactly who she wants near her. Holding a wish silently in her mind provides no protection. Speaking it clearly to a witness permanently stops others from having to guess on her behalf. In Move 3, she converts those spoken wishes into concrete plans. She puts it in writing, deciding exactly where her ashes go or if she will be replanted as a tree. Completing an advance directive alone at a kitchen table usually induces dread. Arriving at that same paperwork after completing these emotional steps turns the document into an act of self-authorship. Move 4 is the witness and celebration. She actively chooses who she wants to mourn her and who she expects to celebrate her. Being witnessed is not the same thing as being pitied. It is a deliberate choice to ensure she is honored by name and strictly on her own terms. These 4 moves take a woman who would be passively processed by a medical system and place her actively in charge of her ending. The immediate result of completing the 4 moves is a psychological shift. The heavy, isolating burden of carrying a silent death is permanently lifted. When the gap between what a woman wants and what is actually planned is closed, both patients and families report measurable relief when the moment finally arrives. This summary graphic captures the core philosophy of founder Kathy Tarochione. The opposite of a silent death is not a loud one, it is a witnessed one. True peace at the end of life does not come from avoiding the subject. It comes from the certainty that you have been heard by the people you trust. The Dying Golden journey is entirely private. There is no ticking clock, no reminder badges, and no pressure to finish. She has moved into a state of total authorship, deciding her ending on purpose. You get to make the choice, whenever you are ready.